There we go. Hang tight, guys. We'll be in shortly.
Put on my sunglasses. The sun that's coming through here is killing me.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Me quiero educar. Dormir en algún lugar. Y jugar para trabajar. Si no hay camino.
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Me quiero educar. Dormir en algún lugar. Y jugar para trabajar. Si no hay camino.
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Me quiero educar. Dormir en algún lugar. Y jugar para trabajar. Si no hay camino.
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Me quiero educar. Dormir en algún lugar. Y jugar para trabajar. Si no hay camino.
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Me quiero educar. Dormir en algún lugar. Y jugar para trabajar. Si no hay camino.
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something. There we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me nicely. For some reason, I was getting a little bit of an issue with audio-wise. Really excited for tonight's stream. We got somebody very cool, very interesting that we're going to actually have on. And this gentleman, we met has it been a month since I went to Nashville? I can't really recall back. How long? It's been 2 months? Oh my God, Jesus.
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, I'm losing tracks of everything, guys. You guys could actually hear him. That's a very interesting gentleman named Guy. He is very well known throughout the community. We met up at the Nashville 650E meetup, which was an incredible time. And again, I have to reiterate this, that the bikes were great. Meeting the people was probably the best part of this entire interaction. And just wanted to quickly mention this. If I was short with anybody that was there in the Nashville meetup while I was working, I was shooting or recording stuff, I didn't mean any offense by it or anything like that. It's kind of like a high-paced area, and I've never really been there. Just so we know that that's usually the case. So I don't want you to think that I'm coming off standoffish or being rude to anybody. Just wanted to kind of quickly throw that out there. By the way, thank you to everybody that's tuned in, that came through on the stream and show love. By the way, I want to say a big thank you to all of the people that go through the links and shop with the motivation link, the Hard Knocks Moto link, guys. Last month was one of our biggest months that you guys hit those links and really support the channel. So just wanted to say a big thank you to that. And of course, while we're here, it wouldn't be correct if I didn't do it correctly, guys. Just wanted to say a big thank you to our sponsor of the Freestyle Sunday live stream, Motivation USA. As you guys know, this is where I get all the parts for my motorcycles. Me doing my own builds or getting exhaust tools, parts, merch. That's where I usually go. And again, there's a lot of great places out there, but I stand behind these guys. They've been a huge part of the channel and growing our community, or at least my channel and growing my community. So it's always the right thing to do and show love. And of course, we have a new sponsor to the channel. It's an actual motorcycle rider himself. That's actually part of the community. He also provide coffee for MotoGP event. It's Hard Knocks Coffee. Again, all of these links will be in the description. If you want to get like candles as a gift, you want to get coffee for your hipster friends, you want to get like mugs or whatever it may be, this is where you're going to want to shop, guys. Again, all of those links will be in the description, and I always appreciate when you guys go out there and show love and support. That means a big deal to me. So yeah, but we're going to do what we do best. We're going to say what's up to everybody that's actually tuned in. It's somewhat of a way for me to give back, to highlight the people that's actually watching every Sunday, contributing their time. So we get to kind of pop up your comments here on the screen. Hopefully I can kind of get that rolling. That's why I kind of had a bit of a late start. For some reason, my stream deck was acting a little strange, and it wasn't registering the comments on the actual screen. So I'm just going to give it a shot to see if it does populate. If it does not, I'm just going to read them through anyway. That way we can get through to the actual stream itself. And I'm already seeing quite a few friendly faces that's actually tuned in. Oh my goodness, it actually worked. I did so many reboots and restarts. We have my boy Jack B. Quicks in the building. Really dope. Sakpase. Haitian Masses in the building. Always great to see him. By the way, I met him while I was out in Nashville as well. Great individual, very friendly. Everyone was really dope. Again, I want to be extremely sincere about this. The reason I'm kind of somewhat highlighting this aspect, a very good friend of mine, 5 Up, you guys might know him. Actually, you know what? I might as well speak about this while we're here and be open about it and candid. My good friend 5 Up reached out to me, mentioned to me that Easy Moto Rider had a strange interaction with me where it was not pleasant. So, you know, again, none of this stuff is intentional. We're in the heat of the moment. We're running. There's a lot going on, meeting people, and I'm kind of just running through the motions and stuff. So, again, I don't I just wanted to kind of extend that apology. I don't mean to come off standoffish to anybody or at least brush anybody off if I'm kind of running through things. So it's my sincere apology if you got that vibe from me guys. That's totally not my thing. I enjoy meeting everyone and chatting with everybody. So heads up. We also have the legend. All right. 650 Eves in the building, tuned in. Really, really like that. Always great to see him showing love back. We always bounce back regarding each other's content and stuff like that. That's really dope. He doesn't even have to be here. He's above and beyond the stratosphere, but love to see that he is here. We have Steven Turner's in the building. Really, really nice. And we have a usual suspect, Power Moto. Definitely, if you guys actually want to show him some love, he does have a YouTube channel as well. Always send me his content and stuff and checking it out. So, again, I like to spread the love the same way that you guys come and spend your time coming and check us out. We have S1000RR Mia, another usual suspect that's always here. We have my boy Moto Media, ex-Moto Media is in the building, and Life Without a B. Wifey's always here to show love and support, so that's always great. Donna May. Another usual suspect, guys. And again, my apologies for the delay today. I just wanted to make sure everything was going to be nice and smooth. And certain things, for some reason, I've been in the garage all day shooting content. By the way, Eve, I've actually completely switched out to Alpine Stars, thanks to you also, because I seen that you rock that gear, and I trust what you rock with, and I totally made the switch. I shot a bunch of videos today, so that's really cool. We have my boy Governor D Nice is in the building as well. Always here to show love and support, even when I'm somewhat MIA on social media. All right, now I might as well bring Guy in, guys, just to kind of give you a quick heads up. This individual is a very interesting guy. He grew up out of Harlem. And he's currently no longer living in Harlem, but he is pretty known throughout the motorcycling community. One more person's actually here. Let me see what's up, man. Retrill88. Hopefully I said that correctly. What's good, man? Thank you for tuning in tonight, man. I think the conversation is going to be very interesting. Yeah, as I was saying, guys, I'm going to bring my boy Guy on, of course. I always call him Guy. But most of you guys, if you're going to refer to him, you're going to find him on social media. It's Magic Moto. Really, really great individual. And to be honest, I met him while we were in the Nashville meetup, and he left a lasting impression on me. Also, 650 Eve, highly, highly recommend having him on, just kind of have a conversation and talk about bikes and stuff like that. So while we're here, might as well bring him on and say hello to everybody. What's up, Guy? Welcome to the stream, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. And hey, family, I feel like I just rejoined my family. Been away for a little while, been MIA. Was off racing and then sort of retired from the whole street scene. But I'm back, and wow, you guys are beautiful. I love it. I see what you're doing out there. You take it to a whole nother level, and it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of again. And I felt really welcomed when I returned, and Nashville was my first time showing back out. And hey, I'm an open book, so let's wrap.
This is the one thing that Guy mentioned, guys, in the very beginning, because we usually have like somewhat of a precursor to our conversation, and one of the biggest thing I always do, just out of respect for whoever's going to be on, I always say, what is a go zone and a no-go zone kind of thing? He was like, well, I'm an open book. It's always good and ready to go and stuff like that. Whatever you want to ask, feel free to ask. So that's always a very interesting and somewhat scary to some degree, man. But, Guy, all right, you know what? Let's do you right, man. I just realized your handle is not on the screen. You know we can't have that. Guys, by the way, Guy is fairly, I keep calling you Guy because here's the thing. When we met up, told me his name, and I'm like, yeah, totally Guy. But for social media, guys, his handle, you're going to have to definitely hit up Magic Moto. All right? It's going to pop up right
the
over
way around. MotoMagic.
I stand corrected. MotoMagic. You know what it is? I preemptively.
MotoMagic910.
Yep. It's on the screen. It's been populated correctly. Okay. Awesome.
I can't see. I have sun in my eyes. I'm driving back from Atlanta, so bear with me there.
Yep, yeah, that's no problem, man. I appreciate you taking the time just to kind of be on and chat with us. As you guys can see right below his video feed, you will see his tag on YouTube. Same thing on social media, MotoMagic910. All right, so now that we've done with that, I want to talk about this, man. This guy has one of the most incredible motorcycles I've ever seen of all time. It's a, you know what? You tell us about this bike, dude.
Okay, well, it's a Bimota Tesi H2 SP, and it's the result of a collaboration between Kawasaki and an Italian company named Bimota, which is a boutique company. They've been at the forefront of chassis design and suspension for many years, and Kawasaki saw fit to invest in them, and they took an H2 motor and put it with the Bimota chassis. I call it a chassis, but there is no chassis.
Okay.
And it's called a Tesi because it has a swing arm in the front and rear with center hub steering. All of the aluminum is cut from single blocks of billet, so there's no welds or anything like that on it, so that it increases your tensile strength and reduces weight. Everything else is carbon fiber. And the SP is a limited production. They did 4 of those in the world. And that has the upgraded supercharger and the blow-off valve system and a few other little aesthetic trinkets. I just feel honored to actually be able to have it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. That's why I brought it down.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting? Guy, hold on. I don't mean to stop you. I know you're giving a lot of information. I'm definitely gonna be bouncing back and forth here. So, guys, I've seen this motorcycle. All right, it's an amazing bike. I think, to be honest, I had an exchange with Ebe also, and also with Guy. Right. One of the main things I think I've noticed, everyone is extremely taken back when they saw this bike, and everyone thought it was extremely beautiful, very unique, and it is fast. We're not even talking about in terms of speeds or anything like that. It's a beautiful bike, but it's a little bit on the underrated side, right? Would you say?
Yeah, just people don't know about it. The H2 community, they know what H2s are.
Yes.
So you just take an H2, add 50 horsepower, shave off 50 pounds, and that's what you got. So, it's an amazing bike to be blessed to have, and it's the only motorcycle I've ever had this frightened me. So it's a great bike, and there's so many great motorcycles out there. All your leader bikes, everything. The technology that they're sharing with us now in the general public is amazing. 5 years ago, some of these bikes would have been world-class super bikes or MotoGP bikes. So we're blessed, and I just feel extra blessed because I lucked out and got something like this.
So the point I was trying to make is, for such a unique collaboration between the Italians and the Japanese manufacturer, I feel like it's something that should have been marketed to the masses a lot more. Even people that are completely in the know regarding motorcycles, that are pretty much well versed in all the brands and the styles and stuff like that. This bike really took a lot of people back. By the way, Fastlane D's in the building. One of the gentlemen that rode with you with that bike told me some incredible stories, so I'm going to kind of cover that also. And again, look, so like I said, we all met throughout Nashville, and it totally felt like family. It felt like we were all talking with one another, chilling as if we've always known one another. So that's been really, really dope. I know Fastlane, we currently have a video out now, and he highlights that motorcycle as well. So I think it's a very interesting approach to a motorcycle like this. The fact that they took the H2 motor, right, and then designed around it and created something completely new and very unique. But my biggest fear of a bike like that is cost of ownership. The reason why I'm somewhat kind of leaning towards this kind of question for you, because Bud Tussinel on the stream, he's actually part of the live chat, he mentioned, how did you run into Bimota and what led you to buy it? It's a very nice bike, by the way.
Okay, I don't know if my audio is breaking up because yours is. I'm up in the mountains.
Okay.
But I've been on motorcycles for a very long time, and back when I was in high school, it's the first time I saw a Bimota, and it was just an amazing motorcycle. And they never made a complete motorcycle. They made the kit, and then you had to buy another motorcycle and take the motor and the electronics out of that motorcycle, but there were no electronics back then. And then you would put it into their chassis and set up, and it was just something I've always kept an eye on over the years. And 30 motorcycles later, I was shopping for something. I wanted something exotic. I wanted something that I've never experienced before. And the opportunity came up, and I kept looking and tracking and talking to people. And finally, I found this guy in Raleigh, North Carolina, Bob Steinbuchler. And you guys, if you're ever in Raleigh or even near it, go to see his private museum. This is amazing. It's so much eye candy, it's overwhelming. There's probably around 50 bikes on the floor, but not to get off on that tangent. Bimota is, they've always been at the forefront of designing chassis and all that type of suspension. And when I got this opportunity, I couldn't help but jump for it. As far as maintenance and stuff, it's a Kawasaki motor.
Yeah, it is a Kawi motor. I mean, in terms of like you doing work on it, it is a Kawi motor, an H2 motor. But you do have the Italian aspect. You're talking about a lot of the body work, the winglet, and stuff like that. I will be rolling a clip, actually, just to kind of show you guys. We are talking about the bike. But I want to kind of show you what that looks like. But in terms of like body work, because it's completely carbon fiber, the body work and stuff like that. My biggest concern, I ride a Ducati. He also has a Ducati as well. Actually, more than one Ducatis. Regarding getting parts for bikes like that, sometimes there's a bit of a wait. So I could imagine when it's something, between communication in Italian and Japanese, I could imagine that could cause delays in terms of getting parts. Also, where do you take this bike if you do want to have work done on it?
Well, I go to my friendly Ducati. Actually, most of the stuff I do, unless there's engine work, I take it out to Grassroots BMW. And there's a local dealership in my town. They have some great talented mechanics. And but I've never had a problem with my H2s, my Ducatis. I got a code running on one of my Ducatis. I got to take it back to that. To Ducati in St. Louis, which is 2.5 hours away. But basic maintenance and stuff, I do a lot of that myself on my bikes. It's basic stuff, making sure that all of your torques are where they're supposed to be, or your torque settings on your frame and chassis. There's a bunch of YouTube information as far as how to take the front wheel off and all that type of stuff. But, I don't see it being really an expensive. My BMW, I think, is more expensive to maintain than the Tesis or the Ducatis if you look at it per hour at a shop. So, it's just, I don't see it as being any real big issue. So, as far as parts, Bob Steinbuchler is he keeps a lot of stuff here in the United States. He's also a fabricator, and it's just great.
You're breaking up a little bit. Guy is actually driving, guys, so there's a chance that he might break up, but definitely be reconnecting. But while then, I definitely want to take that time while he did break up to kind of show you guys this motorcycle. By the way, I love the fact that we actually have MotoMagic on, of course, goes by Guy as well. Another gentleman here, right in the live chat, mentioned he met you today. I'm assuming you're coming from. You mentioned a little bit earlier from a track day. What's his name? Retrail 88. He said I met Guy today at Caffeine and Octane today. The bike is insane. So everybody's experience with this bike is pretty much the same. It's like something that you've never seen. Pretty much, I would say it's the equivalent of having like a Super Leggera, but this is really Italian and Japanese. But let me roll a clip of this bike. Hang tight, guy. Let me just roll this bike. I just want them to see, what it takes for them to highlight this motorcycle. Hang tight. By the way, guys, thank you to everyone that's tuned in, man. I appreciate it. Let's see here if I can kind of get some of these clips on here. There we go. All right. Really dope, guys. Again, this bike is extremely unique. Again, I don't know if you guys spotted the very front end of the motorcycle. It doesn't have a traditional front suspension forks. It's almost like a single-sided swing arm on both sides. And for you to actuate the front wheel is not a very common thing. And this is one of the things that somewhat scares me about owning something like that. Granted, I don't know if this would be something I'd ever be in my garage due to cost. I'm a little bit of a cheapskate when it comes to kind of getting something like this. I start factoring cost of ownership and stuff like that. What's my return on an investment if I wanted to resell it kind of thing. But I would be a little afraid to put some tools to this thing, right?
You need to stop that. Look behind you and talk about cheapskate. That is a Street Fighter if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Excuse the dark glasses, but I'm driving west and the sun is killing me here.
Nah, it's all good, man.
I'm not trying to be cool or nothing,
Nah, it's all good. I think you totally broke up. But there you go.
So many. They don't make a bad bike anymore. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can definitely hear you. I love that sentiment that you shared. I remember we spoke while we were in Nashville and we were just chilling and stuff like that. You mentioned how there aren't any more bad bikes and stuff like that. It's very rare to find something that's not ideal, right?
Yeah. My catchphrase, what I go by, what I believe in my heart, it's not what you ride, it's not how you ride, it's why you ride. And if you love riding, I don't care if you're on a scooter, a Harley, a Goldwing, it doesn't. If you have that passion that something's touched in your heart when you ride, then you're family. And that's what separates us from the rest of them. There are people that own bikes, and then there are people who love bikes. We love bikes. And we love what we do with them, and we love what they do for us.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to use this opportunity to transition on this, because a lot of people tend to think that when people have certain motorcycles. By the way, just wanted to say a big thank you to you too, sir, by the way. While we were out there in Nashville, this guy opened up his trailer to me and said, hey, man, you could ride whatever you want. Granted, other people did as well, which was really, really, it really touched a spot that I just met people recently that probably either watched the channel or, watched the stream, and they immediately kind of went to me like, hey, you want to ride this or that? And I said no to pretty much everyone except you and Eve, of course, because Eve is pretty much family, so I can't say no to him if he did. And he had a killer Street Fighter, which went downtown Nashville, which, granted, this bike is fast with carbon fiber wheels. Next to the Bimota, this thing was standing still, okay, which was wild. Now, where I'm going with this is that I know a lot of people, when they look at motorcycles like, Super Leg or a high-end motorcycle like the Bimota Tesi, most people say, oh, this guy probably had this in his garage and probably don't ride it. Guys, I'll tell you now, this is something I witnessed myself, and other people in the live chat would attest to this because he actually rode with Fastlane D. Dylan came back to me like, yo, he was riding this bike as if it was a 300cc, knees dragging under the canopy. So your experience, man, I just want to hear about your years of riding, how long you've been in the game. As you guys know, that he's an OG. He's not a new rider. All right? So he's been in the game for a while. Walk us how long you've been in the game, how many bikes you had, and experiences, man.
Yeah. Well, it's since I was 4. At 7, I started riding dirt bikes and doing some air scrambles, and I've had a motorcycle all my life. I can chronologue my life based on the motorcycle that I had. So the Tesi makes my number 30, and I've ridden everything except for Suzuki's. I love your Suzuki's out there, but it's just that I've always been a Kawasaki guy, and that was the rival bike, and the whole thing, and a bunch of my buddies. And I went to road racing, and I was the only one on the Yamaha. Everybody had Suzuki's, and there was always that, that banter, that fun thing. But I came up on the 2-stroke bikes. All of the RD350 Yamahas, YPV 500 Yamaha, the Kawasaki H1. Then I went to twins, 650 Yamaha, 750 Cal, just jumping around. Then I went to Z1R 1000 Kawasaki, 1980. 1983, I went to the Honda Interceptor. Then I came back to Kawasaki, 900 Ninjas, had a few of those. Then I went to Yamaha R1s, and then, I had an EBR, Eric Buell race bike. Yo, underrated? That's an underrated bike.
Yes.
Fabulous motorcycle. I put it right there with any Ducati any day.
Wow, that's a big statement. That's a big statement.
It's real, dude. That's real. I had the EBR. I took it to a track day, and dude, it did work. I did work with a lot of people out there that day. But wow. And then it's I love motorcycles. That's where I'm most comfortable. When I put my helmet on, is when I feel like I'm safe. I wasn't a super social kid. I was picked on all the time. I was funny looking, and I felt like inside that helmet, it didn't matter. And, once you get into the race world, it's all real. A lot of conversation goes away because now it's time to show what you got. And I gained a lot of respect from a lot of people at the racetracks, and learned a great deal from a lot of people at the racetracks. And I always tell people, you can ride, but you need to study, you need to read, you need to understand the physics. The more you educate yourself about what you're doing, the safer you can go, the faster you can go. So it's just something that I've always loved to do.
So I have to talk about this also. It's just one of those things because I'm kind of fishing you to kind of tell us some of these stories and stuff like that. I remember us sitting down having lunch in Nashville and stuff like that, just everyone just talking and stuff. and I know you started pulling on. He has Speciale, Street Fighter, the Tesi. I mean, the list goes on, and the level of the bikes that you have is incredible. But one of the things that struck me while we sat there, and really feeling like family with every single person that I sat there with, and it was just so organic, very little exchange with everyone, and with people covering the years of them riding, and then you just mentioned you've been in the game for so long, you had so many different bikes. Again, I'm fishing you to this conversation, and there were so many war stories, and of course, guys have scars and stuff like that, and to be honest, it kind of struck a little fear in me. You know what I mean? I'm in a place where I've never been before. I'm away from my family and stuff, and I'm riding certain bikes for the first time. And just hearing people's horror stories, I mean, throughout all the years of you riding, and I know you kind of started to share one of those, I just wanted to kind of hear about it. Have you ever had like a really bad close call?
Oh, I had a bad close call with death. And, I disrespected the
Wait. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
And what I was doing.
Okay. You broke up. Can you just repeat that? Well, you said you disrespected. And I love that because that shows accountability. It wasn't like, I slipped, I dropped my bike. When you said you disrespect the bike, to me that says you're accountable for your own actions.
Oh, yeah. No, I disrespected the bike and the environment that I was in. And I hit a car head on at 110 miles an hour. So I went 52 feet high, 88 feet out, landed in a churchyard, and I broke both ankles, both legs, dislocated both knees, fractured pelvis, 18 ribs, bruised lungs, concussion, right collarbone, right radial. The injuries were pretty intense. And one of the things that hurt me the most was what it put my family through and my friends. A lot of people thought I was dead. A lot of people thought that I wasn't going to be able to come back and do anything. That I was going to be paralyzed, all that type of stuff. And I had a lot of close friends. Back then, the motorcycle community was really tight, but 4 days later, I was with my one arm, I was thumbing through a motorcycle magazine looking for the next bike I was going to get. So it took me about,
That's wild.
We're motorcycling nuts, And then about 3 years later, I had a close call while out doing carburetor runs, checking the bike. And after that, I walked away from motorcycles for 6 years.
So I'm glad you kind of mentioned that because I was really, like I said, I'm fishing you through it and stuff like that. Guys, by the way, just so you know, if you're interested in digging what we're doing here, hearing these conversations, hearing these stories from other people and learning from others so that way we don't make these same mistakes, definitely take a moment after you watch the stream and thumbs up this stream, go to MotoMagic910 and subscribe to him. He's new to the game, just starting out really, and starting to share these stories. And it'd be really great if you kind of help grow him, and really help share his passion with everybody else. So definitely I'd appreciate that. But back to what I was saying, you stop riding for 6 years after something like this happened. How do you start building back that? It's like bravado. You know how it is when you ride, get comfortable. Sometimes you start feeling yourself way too much, which could be extremely dangerous. How did you break that after the time frame, that span where you stop riding and that fear? Because that fear is there, guys. I know a lot of people tend to not admit this as men. When we get on these bikes, we do our thing, we do certain things, and we act like we're nicer than the next person, or we're that nice. And to be honest, my personal opinion, you don't know how nice you are until you start riding with really good people. While out in Nashville, granted, I was trying to be very respectful to the motorcycles that I wasn't completely acclimated with. These guys are fast. All right? I'm talking about fast, man.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different ballgame. But yeah, back to what we were saying. I want to hear like how you work yourself back up to bringing yourself back on a bike and doing it safely and not feeling like you can't do this anymore.
I went through a serious self-introspection, where I recognized that the accidents, and I only mentioned one, that was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going into that, I probably put my bike on the ground once a month for about 5 months straight. It was always trying to push to the next limit, and just by doing it out on the street. And shortly after I returned, after the first big accident, I lost my best friend. And we were out, we were wilding, and hit a big pothole around 130 miles an hour, and he hit the guardrail, and I came back and I held him in my arms while he took his last breath. So that combination and then that other near mishap, that's what sent me away from bikes. Because I was not behaving myself. I did not respect the bikes. I did not respect the environment in which I was riding in. And everybody was saying, you're not going to make it to 25. You're going to be dead. You need to stop. You need to stop. So, and when it was time to come back, I was like, okay, I'm going to buy something to go to the racetrack with. That's what I'll do. I'll go to the racetrack.
Yeah.
And I went to the I bought the EBR, and I went to the racetrack. And it was like, I never left it. It was just immediate, and it was just beautiful. It was like, this is where I'm home. This is where I love to live. I love the speed. I love public experience of it. At the end of the day, you come off the track and you got a bunch of common people, like-minded people, and you sit around and you talk. And then you start to find out the different stories of these people and the different life stories. And, I mean, to me, everybody was an open book. We just shared so much with each other. Because even though you race against each other, you race as one. Because someone does something reckless out there, puts everybody else at risk. And it's the same thing on the street. There's a young man who just lost his life in St. Louis, and I bring him up, and God bless his soul. And they were out, and they were running twisties. He came around the curve. He was able to stop. The next bike behind him didn't stop, hit him, knocked him down. The third bike came around, hit him, and killed him. So,
yeah, these are really.
You got to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, these are really big horror stories. I don't want to stick too much on the darkness of what we love and appreciate. Again, I'm guiding this boat here. Also, my wife is watching. I want to scare the hell out of her. So, but what?
Go ahead.
The whole thing here that I want to show is the full spectrum of this, right? We started out just really highlighting the bike and how amazing it is, and just as we start diving further into who you are and your experiences, whether a lot of them are very positive. To be honest, right now they're completely positive, and you've had some really up and down slopes that's really carved you to who you are today. Because, like I said to you before, I feel like when we spoke, I said, the wisdom that you're sharing now comes from a long time frame of some extremely big experiences. And that was one of the biggest questions. I was sitting there having lunch with all of you guys. I don't know if you recall this perfectly. I rose my hand like we were in school. I said, hey, what is the one thing you guys could share with me? Because I don't want to have to experience those to learn from those experiences. Because I recall, remember that other gentleman that he was right across from us, very tall, big guy, big black guy, all very funny. Yeah. And he had a lot of really severe experiences as well. Yeah. And what would you share to say to someone that's either starting out or that's maybe seasoned in the game. I mean, I'm seasoned in the game, but I'm still, more than willing to kind of listen and learn to someone like you. That way I don't have to experience what you experience in order to.
Just be a student of the sport. Be a student. Read, gain knowledge, real knowledge. The stories of the guy on the 550 that at 130 miles an hour he downshifted and wheelied down the street and jumped over a car and all that type of stuff. That's not real knowledge. Real knowledge is when someone explains to you that, you didn't check your tire pressure, and this is why you just dumped your bike on the street, and why you're hurt and scarred up. Read a book, Twist of the Wrist by Keith Code.
Yep.
Fabulous book.
That's a classic.
It's a classic. And understanding contact patch, decreasing radius, different road surfaces, all the different things that affect what you do. Just be a student of it. And it only gets better. Take your time. I'm 3 years old. And I'm still learning stuff about this stuff because I have my mind open to learn and truly know and understand.
What's so funny?
226 miles an hour.
You know what's funny, man? You know what's so funny to me? I've been riding for a long time. I mean, I've been going fast for a long time. I think Nashville was my first experience where I felt like, wow. Where I twist the throttle, bike's performing well, it's going fast, and I was like, wow, maybe this is a little bit much. This was my first time actually admitting this to anyone where I'm like, wow, it's a lot. And I wonder what it takes to kind of break that barrier, respectably. Okay, not to the point where it's like, because I think there's watching everyone roll race in Nashville, which was really dope, and the camaraderie amongst everybody. That was, I'm telling you guys, if you've never been to one of these events or experienced this, highly, highly recommend you kind of get it done because that experience in itself, it's a huge deal, right? But outside of that, how do you see yourself doing this respectively, like where you could break the triple digit, where you go even higher? Because for me, I felt like I was reaching a point of scaring myself. 100%.
Yeah. Well, you should always be afraid. So don't break that barrier. Keep that fear. Just don't let that fear govern you. Let that fear inspire you to know more, limit the risk factors as much as you can. I have to admit, I was out there wilding that weekend. I don't do that normally. That was something that I left behind many, many years ago. But I just got caught up in that energy, and it's easy for it to happen. It's just so much energy, man.
Yes.
I mean, it's like you feel it deep down inside of you, and it just says, and I'm a racer. When I'm walking in the mall and somebody walks past me, I speed up. It's subconscious, it's sort of crazy, but it's just that way, But don't never stop being afraid. Don't let it cloud your judgment, but be afraid because you can make a mistake, and a mistake that may not kill you may kill somebody else. And that's something, the thing I loved about Nashville was after everything calmed down and then they went to their little location where there was a big street, there was no real traffic, and that's where they chose to do what they were doing. Yeah, I like that. That's respecting the environment.
Yeah, I actually really like that. I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, I have some crazy clips. I thought it was really, really dope that they had a specific place. It was non-disturbing to anybody else. There was no law enforcement making a big deal about it. The road seemed really clean, and there seems to be clean rules on how it's done, who takes off and who goes. I mean, it was a big learning opportunity for me just watching that, really. Maybe the roll racing through the on the highway were a little bit more because there was just so many people. But I felt like it was a structure where everyone was on the side. Just if you guys could picture this, a whole group is like just parked. Everyone's just kind of watching, or you're taping stuff, and then maybe two guys pull out, maybe four, and there's like an unspoken rule. I wouldn't say unspoken rule because to me it is, because I don't know, but everyone seems to be very, very well versed. Huh? And
I said it's a spoken rule.
It's a spoken rule.
Communication is key.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody will just, do their pulls and stuff and come back and hug it out afterwards. A really, really dope environment. And it's just nuts. But I don't know if I could probably pull it off. And this is definitely not my natural environment and stuff. But it was beautiful to experience though, and just kind of chill with everybody though and see it.
It was great. And then there was a group who took me out to the twisties, up to the back roads, because, some of us love those turns. And they took me out there. We had a great time. The environment was spectacular. I mean, some of it, you were just going through a canopy. It was like a tunnel of foliage, and it just made for such a beautiful experience. And we went pretty fast, but it wasn't recklessly fast. But it was fast, and it was fun. And I'm hunting for gasoline now because I've been talking to you and not paying attention to my gas gauge.
So here's the thing that's interesting, man. Your bike, the Bimota, that bike is signed by two people. Do you foresee yourself keeping that bike forever, or is it something that you might flip in the end to a collector? Because, by the way, what's very interesting, guys, you guys might not know this. He has one of four, correct?
Yeah. There's only four of those in the world.
One of four. That's an amazing find, man.
And they won't make any more. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's a hard call. I mean, I've had that conversation. I was down there in Atlanta with Ricky Gatson. And if you guys don't know who he is, 12-time world champion drag racer, he's the man. And we were talking about it, and it's like, and even Eve had told me, why would you sell something that you have one of four of? And I was like, it's all about investments. It's about an investment.
So you would flip it if the right offer came along?
I don't know yet. My wife asked me the same question. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't think I was going to truly fall this deeply in love with it. That thing, I can tell you that. I didn't think that it was going to be like, okay, wow, I don't see letting this go.
So I'm going to say that this is faster than a regular H2, right? I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. It's about 50 horsepower more and about 40 pounds lighter, something like that. So it's making 293 horsepower. I mean, I'm going to be dropping a video next week. I have Ricky Gatson. He rode it, and then we get his impressions of it and stuff. And, he has a standing record for H2 stretched at 231 miles an hour. Jeez. And when we stopped after the first run, he was like, it's too much. It's just too much. You're not going to be able to enjoy this because you can't turn the throttle without the thing wanting to point north. Even with the wheelie control and everything engaging, it's still going to, if you roll in third gear, if you dump it full of throttle, that front tire is about 3 feet off the ground before it stops. And it doesn't come back down. I mean, it came back down when the clock finished at 189, and because I got out of the throttle. But it's violent the way it accelerates, and it's just a great scary feeling. But I missed the experience of the H when I got rid of it. And the V4s, they got big torque, they're great motors and everything, but that H2 is special. And I know even the rest of them that own them can tell you, they can attest to that. And this thing makes that H2 look passive. You know,
I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's good. I mean, I can babble on forever about this stuff because I just spent 2 days with Ricky out there with that bike, and we had some fun. And it's a unique experience. It's very unique. You know, I've always dreamed of riding a MotoGP bike, and this is about as close as I probably will ever get, unless I win the lottery or something.
Not really.
Back down.
Not really. Ducati had that crazy deal. If you bought a Super Leggera, that if you take a package, you actually get to ride the GP bike. I think on the course. That was that offer.
That's the only reason I wanted the Super Leggera. I was 503 on the list. Okay, 500 qualified, so I missed out on that. So, but I've ridden Super Leggera once before, and it was amazing. But I would love to line that Tesi up with the Super Leggera. I would love to see that happen. You know, so anybody out there got a Super Leggera, let's do it.
Five Up has a Super Leggera, but I'll be right on the sideline just watching like this, my podcast, because that's out of my league. I'm not in this pond. Not yet. I'm watching from afar. It's you know, like I said, no bad bikes, a bunch of great stuff, some amazing stuff that they're giving to us, and I feel super fortunate that I have one. And, you know, when I see people who have unique, exotic things, and they bring it out and let us see it and let us hear it, let us see it run and all that stuff, I just appreciate the fact that they shared it with us. You know, I don't have any, like, envy, like, wow, I wish I had that, or because he has that, he's this or he's that. And that's the way I brought that bike down there. I brought that bike to share it so people could see it and know that it truly exists. I mean, my Kawasaki rep didn't know we had any in the country, you know, so it's something to be shared. And, I mean, there was a bunch of bikes there that I felt that way about them bringing it out. You know, there was a couple of ducks down there. Skeeter's duck. That thing is off the charts. That thing is stunning. I love that exhaust system that he has on it. This one, was it with the Termi?
It was a Termi.
Yeah.
With the dual cans that roll under the tail section.
That was nasty, man.
Yo.
That was nasty. That sounded so wicked. Yes. That was really nasty, man. That took me down. Like,
I got goosebumps.
Yeah. He rolled up with that bike and then turned it off and started back on. That full Termi system sounded really nasty. Really, really dope bike, man.
I got on my Panigale, my Corsa, I have a Termi system, the 2 out the back and 2 out the bottom, and they sound great. But that exhaust system, that was amazing.
I think it was a full race system. That was a full-on racing system. It was extremely loud. I think almost unbearable loud. The one caveat of having these exhausts, you basically have no plates. There are no plates. They're designed just for racing. You don't have any place to put your license plate. So that's the one caveat of them.
I fabricated one for mine. You'll see my Corsa S. I'm going to publish that bike probably a week after this because I just did the Street Fighter and I want to finish the thing up with Tesi. But you can fabricate, you know. I tried to stay within the limits of the law as much as possible so I can have less aggravation and you know, keep it peaceful as much as possible. So I made a bracket and I got a plate. I run the plate on all my bikes, you know. I know that there's a culture out there now that don't run plates. Don't stop for cops. Don't do this. Don't do that. And that's a choice that you got to make. As a disclaimer, if I'm in triple digits, it costs too much to stop to talk to me. That just costs too much.
He's not advocating for that. He's just saying, hypothetically speaking, if that was the case, it's a possibility. Yeah. He's not saying he did that. That's not what we're doing here at all. All right? I'm just saying. He's just saying. No. But here's the thing, man. I got to tell you, you have one of the, actually, I can't even say you have the nicest Street Fighter in the game right now. Guys, I know it's hard for me to admit I have one, but it won't be the nicest one for long. There we go. Troubleshooted that on a whim, baby. Guy is getting gas, but he's definitely going to come right back. So, and I'm watching the comments. I'm watching the bit rate climbing up, the cash. Listen, my game's on point right now, man. I'm keeping track of everything as much as possible, and we troubleshooted that really, really quickly. I'm actually super proud of that because it's just so much work. It's just making sure that everything's running to the T. But we're back in the building, man. Very excited. That didn't take too long. Hopefully, that didn't stop things too quickly. Guys, definitely getting gas. Guys, if you have any questions, any comments, you can always drop them in the live chat or even leave them as a comment section down below, and we will reply back to you, man. This guy has some amazing stories, and I'm trying to guide this conversation to basically a nice leveled interaction where we have a little bit of slopes here, going down, going up, and we're going to keep it nice and excited, man. What's good? Let me see some of the comments. You've had 30 bikes. You have always been able to afford top spec bikes, or was there a time where you had to start from the bottom and grind up? That is a great question, Bud Tussinel, dude. I am going to totally throw that in just to kind of restart that conversation. And I love this. I love the fact that you guys are helping me guide the interaction, because it does take quite a bit of effort to kind of pre-prep and have a general idea of where I want to go and be very precise. But it's a great question to kind of bring Guy back. And again, guys, just so you know, his handle, it's always on the screen, so you can easily find him across all social media. So really, really dope. There we go. So great question that just popped up by Bud Tussinel. And I try to avoid that one. I somewhat have a general idea. Just so you know, guys, he grew up out of Harlem, pretty similar to me, and his upbringing wasn't as, cherries and blossom. So Bud Tussinel mentioned here, you've had 30 bikes. Have you always been able to afford top spec bikes, or was there a time where you had to start from the bottom and grind up? Really good one.
The first new bike that I purchased was in 1980. That's Z1R 1000, and I bought that when I was in the Air Force, and I bought it on credit.
Wait a minute. That's a gem. That's the beauty about the stream, right? You guys did not know he served in the service. You see that? You gotta show love and respect, man. Nice little gem right there. Thank you, sir. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
So that 80 Z1R 1000 was the first new bike that I ever owned. Man, some of the bikes I rode, they didn't even have body work on them and makeshift seats. My RD that I had, I got it from one of my cousins, and it was I do 100 miles an hour, and then the bike would start to miss. I would pull over because it vibrated one of the spark plugs out of the head, and I kept a wrench with me so that I could put it back in. So you had to sit there and wait for the head to cool off and then put it back in. Oh man, I had some terrible bikes, but I really made sure I took care of them. That mechanically they were sound. Wow, the gas tank. Hold on. Let me go take this $100 bill out.
All good. So while he kind of do that, guys, this is just to kind of give you just a general idea. By the way, this is not Guy being rude, okay? He's a very busy guy, has a lot on his plate, always moving the chips around. And to be honest, I know he's driving. Don't feel like this is a rude thing. I'm actually really honored. No, I actually really honored you took the time to actually do the interview and talk with us. I know you have a very busy schedule, lots going on. So, guys, that's actually going out of his way to actually making sure you have time to actually sit down and talk with us. So that's a big deal. And just so you're aware,
I appreciate you guys. Let me get something straight here, okay? The experience in Nashville, being down there with you guys, and I mean, when we at the end of all the riding, we were downstairs in the hotel, and it was like, oh gee, come on man, come have a drink with us. I was like, okay, cool, I'll be right back. I had to take something upstairs. So I'm in the elevator, okay, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna get them drunk so I can laugh at them, So come back down. We start doing tequila shots. Okay, anybody that was there was having next. But it was that time where we all laughing and talking stuff. I mean, I don't even know. We talked about everything under the sun, laughed about everything under the sun. And we tried to make the guy that won the $1,500 pay the bill, but he wouldn't. But it was just so much fun, man, and it was fabulous. It was the first time I've been drunk in, I don't know, since 2006. So what's that? 16 years. And boy, did I have a hangover driving back the next day. But it was just so much fun. Being out there, seeing all the bikes, seeing how the expression of each individual showed up in the builds that they did with their bikes, and that was a slice of heaven for me. And, I look forward to experience. Man, when we rode downtown that night and went down to the locals meetup, that was bonkers. The energy was over the top. The cars doing the donuts, all the bikes, everything. I mean,
that was a really cool experience. I think my first night there, by the way, just so everyone's aware, my first night there in Nashville, we're chilling, and we all kind of hung out. I was there all day. My flight landed early, so I just kind of hung out, and I'm like, I'm not even riding. I don't want to go out anymore. I'm just gonna kind of go back to the hotel. And after I got coaxed a little bit, like, yeah, definitely, dude. And I'm like, because I'm here chilling, waiting for Eve, because Eve's bringing my bike. And everybody's like, nah, man, don't worry about it. Everyone's offering their keys. And it was like, Mike, my bike's your bike, And we're not talking about some bullshit bike throwaway bikes here. We're talking about, in most cases, I'd say no, 100%. We're talking about your Street Fighter and his, Guy Street Fighter, guys. By the way, I meant to ask you this. I call you Guy because, it's like, to me as a friend. Do you prefer to go by MotoMagic? Because that's been his street, guys. That's been his name on the street for years. And this is not just like a YouTube handle. This is his handle when things was rough till right now.
Let me tell you a little something about that handle.
Yep.
Okay. Remember that Z1R I was talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I had this black Z1R, right? I mean, back then it was worked to the hilt, putting 147 horsepower on the ground, and everybody knew the bike. And taking pictures one day, with an Instamatic camera, and I was doing like, wow, all these this one. Then after a while, it started to develop, and you could just see like some of part of the gold of the wheel in the air. You could see the brightness from the headlight. You could see part of the underbelly. And somebody goes, "Damn, man, that was magic." And since it was black, that's where the name came from, Black Magic. Then everybody knew me by the bike. So they didn't even call me my name. They called me Magic because they wanted to see the bike, or that's what it was. So I was actually named after the motorcycle. But I've had the name for over 42 years. And, it's, if we're ever around certain circumstances and situations, refer to me as Magic. If they ask, who was that just left? That was Magic. What's his real name? We don't know. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Let me ask you a question. Are you trailering any bikes? Are you trailering any bikes? And now saying, are you trailering any bikes since you're coming from a ride?
Oh, yeah. I got the Tesi back there, and I got the Street Fighter.
Ah, man. So someone just asked here, S1000RR Mia mentioned, will we hear the bike? I should have totally had you pull that out, like your camera, to just kind of show it on the trailer back there. Oh, you're in the trailer. Oh, you don't?
Yeah, it's in my trailer. Same when I had it in what's the name? Yeah.
Yeah, he has a fully loaded trailer.
If you go to my channel, you can hear it.
Yeah.
It's special. Today when we at the meetup at Caffeine and Octane, it was just like, can we hear it? Can we hear it? So there was a guy there. Matter of fact, the guy that Rev. I forget the rest of his handle. He had the ZX10 with the SC Works can on it. So I was over there bothering him, and I was like, "Yo, man, you gotta let me hear this pipe." So he was like, he did it. He said, "Okay, hold your ears," and wow, it was loud. Then later on, he was over near me, and he was like, "I heard you started. I missed it. I said, "Okay, well, I started back up and let it rap a couple of times." So yeah, it's loud.
Yeah, it's loud.
Pretty loud.
By the way, guys, I have a couple of shorts.
But I short shifted most.
I have a couple of shorts with that Bimota Tesi SP2, guys. You can definitely check it out. That's his bike that you're seeing in my shorts. I wanted to just kind of cover this real quick, guys. His Street Fighter, it's a dark stealth Street Fighter. This bike is dressed up to the T. Don't get excited, all right? Because my carbon wheels are gonna happen. There's a lot of really cool things happening on Street Fighter. He's rocking the Rotobox. Is it the Boost wheels?
Yeah, the Boost.
Yeah, carbon gloss Rotobox wheels on there. The belly pan carbon fiber. The front front fender, rear mud guard. Dukabite engine cover. So he went all blacked out. The bike is incredible. The carbon wheels make a huge difference, man. Through the night, when we did our first bike night through night, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible, dude. That's one of the coolest wheels I've seen. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I said that's my favorite bike to ride. Running around town, messing around in the twisties. You can do anything and everything that's within reason on the street with that motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Corsa that will roast you if you're sitting on top of it in traffic. It's just a perfect motorcycle in my eyes.
I like to refer to the Street Fighter as the
little wind protection.
No, I like to refer to the Street Fighter as a universal Swiss Army knife. It'll do everything. Yeah. And by the way, that night when we all rode, where everybody had super bikes completely decked out, tuned, some bikes were dyno tuned, up map. The Street Fighter just just right there with them, with the best, just like rocking in. That Street Fighter only has an up map, by the way, only an up map on that Street Fighter, and it rode neck and neck with everything, man. Amazing.
Yeah, they did a great job with that bike, and it's just like I said, it's my favorite bike to ride. It's motorcycles are basically an extension of oneself, and an extension of your athleticism. It's almost like becoming a superhero. You jump into a nearby phone booth and you come out and you can do 180 miles an hour. And it's an addictive thing. So it's important to manage your addictions. It's try to be as safe as possible. Understand your environment. One of the things I always hear people tell me is like, well, I really know this road. I know this road, man. I've done it 100 times. You can't know a road in the street because you never know what's happened, what somebody spilled on it, what somebody dropped, somebody's parked, U-turn, all that type of stuff. So keep that in mind when you're out playing.
You know what's so funny? I never even thought about that, man. That's a dope gem. You never really know the street, right? I never thought about that. Often I always say, I'm used to this area, I know it, but you really can't know the street. That you're absolutely right. You can know your bike, you can know your behavior, your motorcycle, but the street's dynamic, Traffic's rolling, oncoming traffic.
Plenty of skin places because of that.
Wow. There you go. There's that gem. So another thing you brought up, might as well kind of make that, since this is naturally where we are right now, is what do you see yourself with like gear and how you ride and stuff? Because I remember we both were there. You rock jacket, even through all the road racing, jacket, gloves, helmet, everything. And you did ask me. You asked me about safety. You said, "Hey man, I would really love to come on your channel and talk about safety." That was one of something that you felt very passionate about when we were talking over there.
I am. I hate hearing people tell me, "Well, he died doing something he loved." Fuck that.
I think that's a cop-out.
Live doing something you love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Live doing something you love. Take the time, understand what you're doing, and gear up. I was considered to be one of the founding fathers of the stunt world because back then I started doing tricks on street bikes and it sort of caught on. And Winky and the Rough Riders, they were a bunch of little kids on dirt bikes and they started doing it. And then they grew up and it kept growing and growing and growing. But it's gear. Skin graft is very expensive. And it doesn't look good even when it's done. When you get hurt out there, financially, it could ruin you.
I agree.
I know guys who had to go into bankruptcy because of medical bills. So take the time to get some good gear. I mean, I try to wear what I consider to be the best stuff that's available to me. When I go to the track, I just bought. Actually, my wife bought me a D&EC, I forget what you call it, but it has the airbag system built into it. So, play hard, but play smart. Play hard, play smart. So, gear the hell up.
100% agree, man. I mean, I was one of those people who share that sentiment. I think every single one of us go through this motion of riding motorcycles where initially we're excited, we get a bike, either we do the no gear thing or we do partial, because I don't think people completely do no gear. Either they have helmet and gloves and no riding jeans or no riding shoes or whatever it may be. And then I think as you progress, or at least you start interacting with other people and seeing the dynamics of riding, the ups and downs and stuff, I think people slowly start making that transition into being extremely safe. Like for me, while we were in Nashville riding and enjoying ourselves, I had a balaclava on, which was for sweat for my helmet. I had full gear on, and it was hot, guys. It was extreme light to the point that I was guzzling down water, and it just wasn't doing anything. That's how hot it was. But I just refused to kind of ride any other way because, just witnessing the way we rode through the streets or through the highway, and I'm like, I don't know if that's worth anything, to be honest. So, but for sure, for me at least, you broke up.
Another thing that I like to love to talk about. How about now? Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Well, and that is passengers. Okay? You have to establish means communicating with passengers. You have to talk to your passenger, get on the bike. Okay, you keep your feet on the pegs, you keep your knees in tight, keep your shoulders with mine. You can turn your head and stuff like that, but you hold on to me. And if you become uncomfortable with something I'm doing, pat me on the leg. Okay? Say you might want to pat me on the left leg, you want to go faster, pat me on the right leg, you want to go slower. I don't know. But have communication and really educate your passengers to understand how much they can influence what your bike does. You go into a corner and your passenger sits up straight or leans the other way, it's a wrap, kids. You're going down.
The initial thing that
speed under you.
That guy's explaining here, you broke up a little bit. He was just saying having heavy communication. If you ever go two up, and you guys know I rode two up for years with my wife on the Monster behind me. There's always been very clear communication regarding how fast we're going, the turns we're taking, where we're leaning, and we've never had any mishap on the road because that communication was very clear, and that's what you just attest to right now. So really, really cool. By the way, somebody just mentioned here, Power Moto, Alpine Stars Dream with Sedici budget. Yeah, dude, get yourself some Alpine Stars, man. Look, got a couple of really, hopefully you guys can see that. Hold on, hang tight. Let's see if we can kind of make this out here, man. I got some dope reviews coming out on Alpine Stars gear. Let's see, I could pull a couple of more 8-star stuff here, man, that are pretty good. I usually come from the Dainese home, but there we go. There we go. So quite a few reviews coming up of Alpine Stars, actually. To be honest, I'm actually really excited about this. Take a look. You guys
can't
know.
See. How come I can't see?
How about now? You guys know that I love when I'm out there on the road. I like my gear to look like it's not gear. Look at this. Hopefully, yes. Can you make this out? Let's see here. Oh, come on.
All I see is a still image with a helmet on your head.
There we go. Hang tight. Hold on one sec. Right there. This thing here is nasty. Super perforated. Ready to go for the season. This is a nice piece, dude. Whoop, there we go. So, yeah, got a couple of reviews coming out, man. A couple of nice Alpine Star stuff coming through. But, yeah. How about now? There you go. You probably should see me.
No, I can't see nothing but that still image.
Yeah, we're shooting it live. You'll see it pretty much on the stream. It's just that my thumbnail is gonna be shown, man. But so let's see if there's any other questions on here that I could probably pull up. I have here. Power Moto mentioned, send me a 9. I gotta kill a video. Bud Tussin will mention, I don't know. After trying jackets on in person, Dainese feels better, in my opinion. Can't lie. Alpine Stars is priced nice. So, sorry, the text seems so small as I was reading it. It was kind of a weird thing here. I kind of hate reading stuff where it sounds kind of.
All right, it's getting dark in here.
Yeah. I'm just gonna recap that. All right. But I don't know. I don't know if the trying jackets on in person. Dainese feels better, in my opinion. Can't lie. Alpine Stars is priced nice. Yeah, man. I've been having a little bit of issues with Dainese, and I don't think it's a Dainese thing. I think it might be me. All of my Dainese gloves, they only last about a year. I do have sweaty palms, and that tends to work into the leather to the point where, it creates a hole in the palm a little bit into my fingers. So I thought I kind of figured that, this season I'll jump in and do like a whole Alpine Star stuff and kind of see it. I got like a heavy boot, I got a medium boot, and I got like a riding sneaker, so I'm just kind of rotating everything. And I've also realized there's one thing that I've done that might have been a bit of a stupid move. I would buy like a glove, I have several lines of helmets, probably like 6, 7 helmets I jump between. Gloves, I would have one boot for the season, and I thought to myself, I should really have like 3 of each thing. That way I could cycle through, and I think I've been working through the material as I ride. Maybe it could be me. So we'll see how that kind of play out.
Bar pressure.
Huh?
Yeah. I said sometimes it's bar pressure. If you, based on the types of grips you had. If you notice on that Street Fighter, I had those extended foam grips.
Yes.
They're just comfortable. They keep your hand open up so you don't have to have such a tight grip. If you got big hands, I definitely recommend those.
Yeah, I did realize that when I rode the Street Fighter, it was very spongy, the grip that I have. I'm running Rizoma P1 mutation grips on the Street Fighter, and that seems to be pretty nice. I didn't ride enough with it to make a big judgment. It was towards the tail end of the season, but this season I'll see how that kind of play out and stuff like that. So very excited.
I wear 2X gloves, so I got big hands. So having a larger grip in my hand, but on the racetrack I choose not to. I don't use the larger grips. I use the regular grips.
So you take them on and off and stuff.
No, I don't race the Street Fighter. That's my sexy girl, play girl, have fun fight. That's the one my wife still loves. I don't know if I told you, I bought a VMAX because I was trying to buy something fast and comfortable. I took it out. I was all excited, and we went drifting through some back roads and dragging the kickstand and all that stuff, and to get back, and I said, "So what you think?" She was like, "If I wanted to sit on the couch, I'd have stayed at home."
Wow!
I didn't keep that very long.
That's interesting to say.
I tell you, there's nothing that I can do on the motorcycle that I have not done with her on the back, and she loves it. She doesn't like being bored, but as far as ripping and running, twisting, turning, wheelies, sliding through corners, all that type of stuff, that floats her boat. So she loves it.
All right, man. So I'm not going to keep everyone too long. I think we've been running for a good hour and a half or something like that. I want to take up all your night. And if you guys are good with that, definitely hit me up in the comment section. Let me know. But if you guys have any questions for MotoMagic, let them know. This is going to be the time before we kind of somewhat wrap up the stream, but it's been a complete pleasure. Well then, man, I'm going to give you the entire screen so you can kind of wrap up and tell the people where they could find you. And again, guys, if you tune in, I'd really appreciate it. His link will be, it's not on there now. I usually add all the links right after. His YouTube channel and Instagram and stuff will be on the description section. By the way, so you know, guy, there was already a comment saying here that you should come back because there's so much more that you should be covering. So if you do end up having the time, I would love to definitely have you back to chat up, brother.
I will always make the time for my family. You guys are family to me. It's in our blood. It's in our hearts. Anything, anytime, anybody has a question, anything I can help you with, anything that, if I don't know, I'll find somebody who does know. So, like I told you, I'm an open book. This is family. You love to ride, I love to ride. That makes us family.
All right, man. I'm gonna give you the floor, guy, and yeah, man.
Okay.
Let the people know where they can find you, and if there's any information that you want your social media and stuff, definitely share that up. Yeah.
Okay, it's MotoMagic910. That's across the board. That's through all my social media stuff. I'm a little slow on it. I'm a little new at it, so please bear with me. If you send me a message or something, or you share something with me, it may take me a little bit to figure it all out, but I will definitely respond and get back to you without a doubt. Just stay safe out there. Have fun, stay safe, and enjoy what you love, and just remember that every one of us have people who love us and that know us and that care about us, and they don't want to see us hurt. So don't get hurt, Play hard, play safe, try to play in safe environments. I don't know what to say. It's a communication thing. I like listening to what you guys say. I like listening to your questions. I love seeing your bikes and hearing your stories. And so if anything you want to share with me, I had to hear it. Got a bunch of content coming up. The weekend with Ricky and the Tesis, that's going to be up. The courses coming up. The BMW is coming up. And my yesterday, I got the phone call. She's gone. The guy's coming to get her from Colorado. But I have another Ducati on its way, an SP2. That should be here in January. I have a review on the electric Harley Davidson. What is that called? The Live Wire?
Yeah.
Dude, surprised me. It surprised me. It's a good motorcycle. I don't know what people are talking about. I guess conventionalist or something. But for a street bike, that's a good motorcycle. It's agile. It's got crazy torque on the bottom end. It's a good motorcycle, and it's sexy in person. You gotta go see them. They're nice.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta check
I love
that out.
home motorcycles. Yeah, you gotta check it out, dude. I'm telling you, it was cool. It was definitely a cool motorcycle, And I'm not a Harley hater, but Eric Buell race bike, bang for the buck. I think it's one of the best things out there. Eric getting away from Harley, that's one of the greatest things that's happened to the sport, because I do want to own an American sport bike again, so I do plan on getting one of those. And I say that from my heart, and bang for the buck, it's a great deal. And Eric's not paying me. I haven't spoken to Eric in probably, 15 years. So this is just real deal. I'd love to hear from you guys, comments, questions, anything about my content. I know my content sucks right now, but I'm getting better. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm learning. I'm getting better equipment. And I got a guy that's going to start doing my production for me, because I do have a real job. I run a gym. I own my own gym, and I'm there 14 hours a day, 4 days a week. So,
Yeah, man.
and family.
Like I was saying, guys, if you're tuned in, you're watching, definitely show him love. I love seeing people joining the entire YouTube movement and community that's sharing passion about motorcycles. He is fairly new again. This is not a platform where we only bring people that are the elites. All right, we walk all lines. We tethered through all the lines, whether you're starting out, need a little bit of help, whether you want to share your story, whether you're not even looking for clout, you just want to have a conversation with other people that's passionate about motorcycles, we do that over here. So it's a wide spectrum, and we have a good time. So definitely show them love. And I love how it's showing like a sneaker on the right side as I'm talking, but I like to usually clean up. So, but I did see one comment here that I totally wanted to look at. But Tussin will mention here: make sure you clean and condition your leathers; they'll last longer. You know, that's something I've been neglecting a lot. I think with all of my leather gloves and stuff, I just kind of rock them out until they fade out. I think it's something that I need to get educated on how to maintain leathers and stuff. That's one of the things that I need to probably learn, 100%. Hence probably why
your gear.
Yeah. Hence
clean your bike.
My bike I keep clean. That I don't play with.
No, not just you. Take the time, clean your bike, because that's one of the best inspections that you can ever do. Because if you find oil somewhere that it's not supposed to be, that tells you something up front. You know, you come along, you start wiping off your sprocket, and your chain is loose. Now you done found that out. You know, it's a great inspection mechanism.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be looking into that, guys, into really maintaining these leathers, man. And to be honest, I think I just got to take a better effort. Maybe that's why my Dainese stuff was not holding up as well. Maybe because I just ran them to the ground. And I ride pretty much every day once the peak season is here, man. So, yeah. On that note, we're just going to wrap it up, guys. Again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. It's always a pleasure to host the Freestyle Sunday live stream and sit down and talk with somebody and have these conversations, talk about bikes, life experiences, guys. And again, truly appreciate everybody tuning in and showing love and support. Again, those links are in the description if you want to show love and support to the sponsors of the channel that love motorcycles just like I do. Always appreciate that. And if you guys have any questions and comments, whether you're not part of the live chat, you can always comment them down below or reply to them. Again, Guy will probably be replying to them as well if you do have any question regarding the beautiful Bimota motorcycle. And I will catch you guys next Sunday. Peace.
Cool beans. Thank you for having me.
Guy, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much.